Hello again, beautiful beings, and welcome to another Monday live at 5:55 or 1:55 or 2:55 or wherever you are in the world. I'm just happy to be here with you. Even if you're watching this after, I'm super grateful that you showed up. And yeah, another backwards hat today, mostly because my hair is pretty greasy and I just didn't want to shower. So now you know. If you wanted to know, now you know. Today we're going to be talking about enlightenment, and I don't think I've ever really done a video on enlightenment, so I figured it was about time. Yeah, and it is quite a journey, and I feel like if there's ever like an end destination to awakening, it would be enlightenment. That would be it. That would be the end destination. But I do have some definitions here for you, and this is probably a good video to grab a notebook and a pen and take some notes along the way so that you can really apply this kind of stuff to your life and really enter into the journey of enlightenment on your own. Before we get going on what exactly is enlightenment and, of course, how you get there, just two announcements today. I just want to talk about the last Galactic Federation recording. If you didn't attend the GFL Summit on September 11th, I highly, highly recommend it. It was all about the Queen and solar flares and all that stuff. So that's still available for you. If you want to check out the new Galactic Federation Summit, we're going to be talking about what the heck is happening in Iran. We're going to be talking about just some political stuff, what's going on with Russia, like they're really just pushing and deploying all these new troops. And then we're also going to be giving a little update on the Queen, but not necessarily the dark version of the Queen. We're going to see what she has to say because I've been getting some messages that her soul wants to help. Her soul actually wants to fight back. So I'm really curious to see where she's at and how she can kind of give back and assist. And that's going to be happening October 11th. So check that out. And then I haven't mentioned them in a while, but Lily Rose jewelry, I wear them practically every day, and I realized that not a lot of you actually know what that collaboration is about. So I sat down and I channeled the top, I think 5 or 6 most active interdimensional species that are interacting with planet Earth and that are interacting with our own DNA. And I channeled what crystals need to go into each of these malas and bracelets, and also what sacred geometry amplifies the frequency of the crystal. So I literally channeled crystals that pair and match and represent the energy of each species. And then for every mala and bracelet, there's the name of the species, and then also the sacred geometry, which I also channeled, which is a representation of the species. So that's kind of, Lily Rose Jewelry puts it together and houses it on their website, but all the information, the channeling, and the amplification came from me. So now you know. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. I highly recommend them. And of course, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And and you really want to just kind of stay informed and stay up to date. So that's all I gotta say. Let's define enlightenment. Because even for me, I was like, how would I define enlightenment? It's kind of this, almost like an arbitrary statement that we kind of know what it means, but like, how would we define it? So here is, I had to Google it, all right? I don't Google often, but I had to Google this. This is the Buddhism definition of enlightenment, and I think this is a really great, clear definition. The action or state of attaining or having attained, sorry, I'm going to read that again. The action or state of attaining or having attained spiritual knowledge or insight, in particular, an awareness which frees a person from the cycles of death, which is pretty cool. And, I just want to unpack that for a second, right? Like, I was kind of thrown off by the end to like freeze a person from the cycles of death. And I think like my human brain immediately went to the kind of incarnation, reincarnation, karmic loop on the planet. But if you think about a universal perspective of enlightenment and freeing yourself from the cycles of death, that means freeing yourself from any and all incarnations. And that I really resonate with. Because I don't know, it just felt a little bit finite, but then it made sense when I kind of put it into my own perspective. My definition of enlightenment is enlightenment as a state of getting back to pure source consciousness. When I think of a soul in the universe becoming enlightened, I think of simply just getting back to source. And that is the goal. It's not about being goal-oriented, because to be honest, if you create enlightenment as your main goal for existence, then you actually lose the whole journey to get there. So having the goal of enlightenment defeats the purpose of enlightenment is just so backwards, right? And yeah, okay, cool. So it can be really complex. This is what I find with spiritual awakening in general. Spiritual awakening, there are so many modalities. There are so many philosophies. There are so many different things to think about. Reincarnation, past lives, cosmic connections, spirit guides, other dimensions, and it goes on and on and on. So what do we really need in order to get to the end? And the answer isn't really simple. It's kind of all of that and simultaneously none of that. So before I get to kind of literally what the key to enlightenment is, and I will warn you that we're having a crazy storm right now, so if the power goes out, I apologize. Like, my Wi-Fi might cut out. I'm not sure. I'm just like planting a seed that if that happens, you know why. So before we get to, there's one key. This is not a step-by-step process. There is just one key of enlightenment. That is it. It is quite simple. All right? Before we get to that key, I just want to mention that, and I mentioned this in a video called, I think, The Truth of the Universe, or no, I think it was called How the Universe Works. I don't think it's on YouTube anymore. I did it just a couple months ago, but you'll find it on the membership platform. How the Universe Works. If you really want to know how a soul journeys through the universe, I laid it all on the table in like 30 minutes. And part of that is, as a soul journeys through every dimension and incarnates into every possible existence within every dimension and has every possible experience within every dimension in this entire universe, we learn everything that there is to learn. We experience everything that there is to experience in this universe. And at the point where you're at the end of your journey, there's a realization. And the realization is that everything you just experienced and went through was all an illusion. And that brings me to the one and only key to enlightenment. Letting go. That is it, my friends. Now, when we are technically in such a low vibrational frequency like the third dimension, luckily we are not low vibrational beings. We are not just a hyena or a plant or a whatever the other like lower vibrational third dimensional beings are. We are multifaceted, multidimensional beings, which means that we have the capability to go into higher states of awareness and consciousness stuck within this dense reality, which is a very, very special thing that we have access to. So although I would like to say it's really, really difficult to go into a place of letting go of everything while we are human beings existing in such a dense reality, I also want to mention it's absolutely 100% possible for us to get into a state of enlightenment being who we are as this multifaceted, multidimensional, hybrid being. It is absolutely possible. It's tricky, it's tough to get into that state, but it's possible. Okay? So once again, the key to enlightenment is letting go. It's as simple and as complex as that. So let me put it into a different way, because it's one thing to say everything around you is an illusion. And then you're sitting there thinking, but it's not, because I'm sitting in this chair and I'm anchored in this body and I'm sipping my coffee and I'm tasting my tea. And like, what do you mean it's an illusion? How does this not exist, right? So let me put it into a different way. This whole reality is an illusionary construct of your own mind. And those are kind of words that I'm just using to help you understand that everything around you, even the physical things, you have created, you have projected, you have manifested, and you have anchored that into your existence, your reality. You've created that. So we are the ones that make this real or not real. And I really think about the unfortunate people who have the contract to go through a lot of mental health stuff, not necessarily depression and anxiety, but more so like psychosis or schizophrenia. What they're experiencing is completely real. And in one dimension or another, it absolutely is happening and it is real as well, right? So there's this kind of huge question mark of what is real? Therefore, what is reality? Therefore, who creates what is real and not real? And it's us. It really does always come down to us. And then the question is, well, then who are we to create what is real and what is not real? What is that actual essence of ourselves that is creating things into existence? It's our energy. It's our consciousness. It's our soul. And where does that soul, that creationary aspect of life force energy, what is that? That's pure source consciousness. That is the thing that runs through everything in the entire universe. It's God, whatever you want to call it, right? That is the only thing that is real. That is the only thing that exists. Everything else is a construct. Everything else is separation from the only thing that is real, which is source, consciousness. Our souls are real. Our bodies are not. This piece of paper is not. This cell phone is not. This backdrop is not. It's not real. It is an aspect of the separation from what is real. And this really gets into like simulation theory, which I was thinking about maybe anchoring into, and then I'm like, no way. It gets really quite complex. Okay. Every aspect of this illusion separates us further from the only thing existing. Consciousness, energy. Even conceptualizing consciousness takes you away from it, right? Just trying to understand source, just trying to understand pure energy, just trying to understand consciousness is trying to bucket something that is so infinite and vast and expansive that it's impossible to understand. I don't know how else to say it, right? Okay, so there are two things. If I were to bring this really real into your everyday lives so that you can truly experience enlightenment here and now in your life, in this lifetime. You don't have to go through all of the dimensions to do so. You can truly experience it in the moment. There are two things. Oh, I might sneeze. Okay, I'm not going to sneeze. Okay. It's able to uncreate that reality. All right, there's two things that you have to let go of in order to reach the enlightenment. One is let go of material. Let go of all the material. And then the other thing that I put here is, or let go of the attachment to the material. And we're going to kind of unpack this a little bit further. Let go of the material world, or let go of the attachment you have of the material world. And two, let go of the definitions and identifiers or beliefs. I didn't know how to just kind of like put that into one word. Basically, if you let go of the attachment of the material, and you let go of the attachment or the need to figure things out and conceptualize this reality in your own mind, you are well on your way to enlightenment. Everything is existing and not existing at the same time. And the more we try and understand things and conceptualize things and define things and then apply a belief to those things, the more we are attaching ourselves to it as an aspect of our reality that is the truth, which is not, because once again, the only real truth in this universe is energy. The more we pile on to our reality as a belief, the more we pile on to our reality as a material thing, the more separate we become from Source. That's why it's so difficult to reach the level of enlightenment in such a physical reality when we are taught and programmed our entire lives that the physical reality is the only thing that exists and it's the only thing that's going to bring you nirvana, happiness. It is the exact opposite of that. It is the exact opposite of that. Now, before you run around and throw out all your things and let go of all of your beliefs, trust me, I've done that. I've gone through many periods of trying to squash the ego, trying to let go of the beliefs, trying to completely become pure energy. It wasn't great. I believe that we can get to a place of nirvana and enlightenment while we're existing with the material, while we're existing with the belief. And the easiest way that I can define how to navigate this physical reality and enlightenment, because once again, every element of this entire reality is the opposite of letting go, is the opposite of enlightenment. So the way that I've been able to navigate that anyway is to essentially, what I call it is play the game. Like, for example, right? In order to show up to this video, I had to use lighting, I had to use Wi-Fi, I had to use a mic, I had to use a camera, and I had to put on clothes in order to spread information and knowledge and awareness and parts of enlightenment. I had to do all of these things in this reality in order to be here right now, right? So in my mind, that is playing the game. I conceptualize everything in my reality as playing this game. And this allows me at an intellectual level to separate myself from the belief and attachment that this is all real. If that makes sense. The key to conquering the simulation, the key to mastering this physical, dense reality, is to not take it too seriously. It's really what it comes down to. And for me, the easiest way to understand that and not take it too seriously is to kind of always be objective, to say, I am playing the daughter in this moment. And not only am I playing the role, but I enjoy the role. I am playing the wife in this moment, or the caretaker, the homemaker. I am playing the CEO in this moment and answering my emails, right? And I enjoy it. While I'm in the role, I enjoy it. But I always, always, always am aware that it's a role. I'm always aware that this shirt is just temporarily in my life. I'm always aware that, this community can come and go. My friendships will weave in and out of my life, and that's okay. So it's like the more that we're aware that everything is an illusion and everything has a time limit and everything has a contract and everything is just in flow, the easier it's going to be for you as a human being to reach the state of enlightenment. Because you don't have any belief baggage and you don't have any physical baggage. That's it. The key to enlightenment is letting go. Letting go of every aspect of understanding in this reality. So once again, play the game knowing that it is not the only truth, which means that you can coexist with the material world. You can coexist with your crystals and your closet and your clothing and your car. You can coexist. You can reach enlightenment while having stuff in your life. But you cannot reach enlightenment if you are attached to your stuff, you're attached to your ideals, you're attached to your beliefs, you're attached to your identifiers, you're attached to your conceptions and your definitions of what you think is real, because it's not. The only thing that's real is pure consciousness. When we can recognize and be in the state of pure consciousness within ourselves, you are then recognizing, aligning, connecting to the pure consciousness of the universe. That's enlightenment. Enlightenment has nothing to do with this physical reality, or any physical reality for that matter. Okay? So here's what I recommend for you. Tune into nothingness/oneness, because it's the same thing, as often as possible. And what is the easiest way to tune into nothingness and oneness? It's through meditation. It really is. I mean, that's probably why it's the number one practice for spiritual people. And I believe that we don't have to meditate for 4 hours a day to reach the state of enlightenment. What I do instead is I try and find little gaps in my day where I can bring objective awareness to my life so that I am constantly practicing non-attachment while simultaneously being present and in the moment. And it's possible, you guys. It's totally possible. And in those moments, that's where you find enlightenment. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever had this. Like, I have this probably maybe once every couple of months. I'll be driving, maybe meditating, maybe in the hot tub or in a bath, or stretching and doing yoga. Maybe a song comes on, and all of a sudden there's this building energy in me, and it's like this tingling, and sometimes it's cold and sometimes it's hot. I can't figure it out. And all of a sudden, like, everything just melts away, and I have this pure connection to Source. I can't even describe it. It's like, I call it actually cosmic euphoria, right? It's the best way I can call it. And I start crying, and it's like the tears of appreciation of like, oh my God, this is it. This is everything. This is everything and nothing, because it's none of this. It's this. It's this total full alignment to self and Source. That to me is this momentary experience of enlightenment. And if you've had that, you can have that again. And if you haven't had that, then that's okay too. You can have that. So once again, practice the connection to everything and nothing as much as possible, especially through meditation, especially through objective awareness, and also practice letting go of the things that you're attached to, both at a conceptual level and at a physical level. I guarantee that anything or anyone you are attached to is going to bring you pain, suffering, and misery at some point. Which is weird, right? Because attachment is this feeling of like, I love you so much, I need you in my life. And we convince ourselves that attachment is actually love. And it's not. It's this belief or understanding that that is your thing, and it's not, especially for a mother to a child. This is my child. I love this child. I need this child. This child is my identity. And it's not. It's totally not yours at all. Not even close. Probably the least yours thing that you ever have encountered in your life. Right? So, yeah, it's just really important that we let go of those attachments. And Buddhism teaches us that too. Any and all attachments will lead you into suffering. So practice that. Look around your life. Understand what you're attached to. Okay, I've got one more sentence. It's pretty profound, and I'm thinking it's going to unlock some light codes in you. Before I get there, once again, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Be sure to share this video out to people that you know and your own network, and that really kind of helps spread the message and share the enlightenment. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the last Galactic Federation Summit, where we channeled the Queen and solar flares and a bunch of that stuff. The next GFL Summit, October 11th, we're going to be channeling the Queen's soul, do a little check-in with her, but also like what's going on with Iran, what's going on with Russia. Like there's a lot of political movement. I'm just wondering what's behind it. And then also check out these epic, we've got New Earth malas, we've got Arcturian, Anunnaki, Grey, Pleiadian, Angel, all of the malas to really align you to your own cosmic family. And last but not least, huge message, huge download from my soul to yours. The state of enlightenment is the realization that everything you see around you is a construct from your own mind, and that the only way to reach it is to let go of everything you think you know. I'm going to repeat that. The state of enlightenment is the realization that everything you see around you is a construct from your own mind, and that the only way to reach it is to let go of everything you think you know. All right, guys, thank you all so much as usual. Just so appreciate you guys being here, and yeah, I'll see you in the fifth dimension and beyond.